What's up, y'all? Welcome to another primetime edition of that show of shows, the must-see TV on YT. Pigskin Facts, History and News. I am your host, Mr. Fred. Hail to the Redskins, all you Redskin fans, ladies and gents. Well, here we are. And week 14 has come and gone. And the Redskins, unfortunately, did not pull the game out. They went to Lambeau. It was a hard-fought game. They did stand toe-to-toe with the great Aaron Rodgers, but they couldn't pull it out. They lost by a score of 20-15. And just want to touch on a few things. Not going to take too long today. The Redskins entered the game last in the league, of course, in points scored per game, which is 14.4, and 262.4 yards per game, and they finished right around that same average. They scored 15 points. There was a 2-point conversion that was missed. There was a field goal that was missed at halftime, which could have cut deeper into the margin. And then there was an extra point missed after a touchdown. So there was some points that were taken off the board. And we met that average, right about that average, 14.4. We scored 15 points, 262.4 yards per game, which is last in the league. And yesterday, they finished with approximately 262 yards, right on point with that. On offense, they were 4 for 11 on third down, a little higher than their 26.52% on third down conversion rate. Yesterday's game, the Packers got off to a fast start. They had very great field position. The Redskins dug themselves a hole deep early in the game. Dwayne Haskins was not getting the protection he should have got, and he was sacked deep in Packers territory. They had to punt the ball. They had a couple 3-and-outs. Green Bay went right down the field. Aaron Rodgers went down the field like a surgeon, operated like a surgeon. And the Packers are quickly up 7-0. Bam. Redskins 3-and-out. Packers come back again. Bam. Another touchdown. So before you know it, it's 14-0 right near the end of the first quarter. The thing that stood out to me that I like about the Redskins in this game, though they lost, was their defense. They got off to a slow start, just like they did last week. It was almost very similar to last week, where Carolina jumped on top 14-0 in the first quarter, and then the Redskins pretty much dominated the rest of the game on the defensive side of the ball. And for the rest of the game yesterday, considering who he played, Aaron Rodgers, they did a very good job. I can't really complain. They held them to 2 field goals after that, the next 3 quarters. So Aaron Rodgers passed. He was 18 for 28, 195 yards, 1 touchdown. It's about a 96.6 rating. So they did a good job on him. The Packers had 111 yards in the first quarter. The rest of the game, the Redskin defense only allowed 223 yards. That's about 74 yards a quarter. That's pretty damn good. It's pretty good considering. So they had opportunities. Their defense kept them in the game. Unfortunately, on offense, we didn't get off to a very good start. And then finally, we had the Adrian Peterson touchdown, which cut the lead to 14-6. Dustin Hopkins missed an extra point, which could have made it 14-7. Near the end of the half, there was another opportunity where we got the ball. We were driving down the field. Dwayne Haskins was leading them down the field. Unfortunately, he threw an interception to Amos near the end of the first half. So that could have cut the lead to 14-9. Had they made the extra point, it could have been 14-10 at that point. So um, there were opportunities there, and we just didn't take it. Dwayne Haskins was playing on an injured ankle, so right when he injured his ankle, he was pretty much he was pretty much easy pickings in the pocket. There was really no way he could escape if he wanted to. His only thing to do really was to get rid of the ball and complete the ball. So he was sacked several times. And what I don't understand is why they didn't take him out of the game, because we suffered the injury bug. Quentin Dunbar, I think he had issues with his hamstring or his quad or something like that. He got out of the game. Darius Geis was playing very well up until he got injured. He broke off that 23-yard run. He finished with 5 carries for 42 yards. And I don't know, I guess it was a freak accident on the play when he got tackled. There was a helmet to knee collision. And so he's going to be undergoing an MRI pretty soon to check the status of his knee. He was taken out of the game. Fabian Monroe was injured. However, he came back and returned back to the game. Um, our linebacker, Ryan Kerrigan, who missed the last week for the first time in his career, did not start, came back, played yesterday, got injured again, injured his calf. So he went out. So my thing is, when Dwayne was hurt and injured with his ankle, why didn't they take him out? Why didn't they just put Case Keenum in the game? You could have furthered that injury. Something else could have happened. And then, we would have been screwed as far as our quarterback is concerned. So I think that was a dumb move by leaving him in the game. You know, but you know how they do. They'll go to the point. Well, he he was hobbling a little bit, but he was okay. He was okay. So uh, though he may have fractured an ankle or broken ankle or had broken bones, we wanted to leave him in the game anyway. No, that's stupid. You should have took him out of the game, and you should have put Keenum in the game, who was warming up. You want to do everything you can to protect your quarterback, and taking him out of the game would have been a precaution from furthering the injury. So now we got to see how that's going to go this week. The Redskins play the Eagles Sunday, and I will be reviewing that game, giving you a review on that game on Friday. So we'll take a look at that when it comes up. Dwayne Haskins, he finished 16 for 27, 170 yards. He had a touchdown pass and an interception. I would say, how would I grade his performance? Borderline C plus B minus. He didn't make a lot of mistakes. He had the one INT. He had the one pick. But he's making good decisions. I see that in the pocket, and I see each week that he's growing. He's maturing each week. And each week you can see that confidence. He's got more confidence, where he leads his team up to the line, and he's doing his thing, and he made some very, very good throws yesterday. I thought he completed some good passes. And I would have to say, out of all of his starts, I would say this has probably been the best one. No, he didn't pass for over 200 yards. No, he didn't pass for 4 touchdowns and no interceptions. No, he didn't get a 158.3 passer rating as a quarterback. But he played well yesterday. He played well considering the circumstances, considering what he had to do. He gave it his all on the 2-point conversion where they scored a touchdown near the end of the game, and he couldn't find anybody open. So he ran. He took it upon himself to run to the goal line as hard as he could. He's given his best, and that's what I like to see. He didn't convert it, but the fact that he did his best, that's what I like to see. And I'm seeing him growing every week, and I'm seeing a maturity. And so it's easy for us to sit up here and criticize and, Oh, he didn't pass for 250 yards. Oh, he didn't have over 20 completions. Oh, he didn't throw 5 touchdown passes to Terry McLaurin and Kevin Harmon. Well, you know what? You go get your Philly cheesesteak, turkey eating flat slob ass off the couch and play quarterback and see how easy it is. It's not easy, dude. It's not easy. So he he's growing. He's learning. Like I said, each week I'm sure him and Kevin McConnell sit down. They look at the tape. They look at the flaws of where he's gone wrong, and they correct it. But I see him each and every week getting better and better, and I see him doing different things that he's done to upgrade his game. I see that, and slowly but surely, he's coming around, and he's going through the hardships now. He's going through the growing pains now, like all rookie quarterbacks must go through. Look at Peyton Manning, his rookie season, threw a lot of interceptions. He had to go through some growing pains, but he grew up real quick and he turned it around. And I believe Dwayne Haskins will turn it around. The offensive line play, I think, yesterday was terrible. He was sacked. Zadarius Smith on the Packers, Preston Smith, those guys. I mean, the defensive front of the Packers pretty much dominated us, especially in the first half of the game last week, and gave Dwayne Haskins fits, gave our line fits, and we couldn't handle him. So we didn't get going to near the end of the game, but I thought that Dwayne Haskins did play a good game, and I think that there were opportunities that were there where he could have taken advantage of, but didn't. But that's all part of the growing and learning process. Adrian Peterson, the running game wasn't too bad yesterday. It wasn't horrible. Like I said last week, we were last in the league. We averaged 85 point, I think, 4 yards per game running. We had about 120 yards yesterday rushing the ball. Adrian Peterson got 76 yards on 20 carries. He pretty much carried the workload because Darius Geis left the game. Um, so he had a 12-yard touchdown run. So he did some good things coming out of the backfield. Terry McLaurin, he came to life yesterday. The first half, he was pretty much non-existent. Didn't really catch anything, but the second half, he came alive. I believe he caught 4 receptions, I think, for 57 yards, and he had a touchdown, a marvelous one-handed touchdown catch. So he's just having a wonderful year. Though his production dropped slowly over the last few weeks, he picked it back up yesterday, and Dwayne Haskins has a good set of receivers of that core. Kevin Harmon, who he's really starting to fine tune with. He had a great 30-yard catch yesterday. Steven Sims, playing in place of Trey Quinn out of the slot. I think he had 4 receptions yesterday. Had a wonderful game, and these guys are weapons. Steven Sims, he's already had a 91-yard kickoff return for a touchdown. He had a 67-yard touchdown run against the Patriots. These guys are coming to their own. These young guys. So these are weapons. This is the future, and I see a good future for the Redskins. And they just need to bring in the right coach, somebody to guide them in the right place, and they're going to be fine. Um, get some replacements, draft on the O line, build around Dwayne Haskins, give him some more weapons at his disposal, and this is going to be a dangerous, dangerous team in the future, offense and defense. And what can I say? The defense yesterday, we got off to a slow start. The Packers had 111 yards in the first quarter, 2 touchdowns. But rest of the game, the Redskins, despite the Packers making their own mistakes, the Redskins played very solid defense. And this is This is early in the year. This is the defense that people expected to see early in the year. And now they're starting to come into their own now. Now they're starting, after these slow starts, they're starting to come into their own and get their feet on the ground and dig their cleats in the turf and punching the opposition in the mouth. And that's what I like to see. We had 4 sacks yesterday at Aaron Rodgers. The defensive line, we could not stop the run. Aaron Jones and the Packers had 134 rushing yards. That's 8.4 yards a carry. Um, but the Packers made their fair share of mistakes throughout the game, but they had enough balance on offense through their running game and Aaron Rodgers doing what he could do as Aaron Rodgers to win the game. Um, the Redskins lost the game because of the slow start and the slow anemic start on offense. And we didn't follow through special teams. We missed the extra point. We threw an interception before halftime, missed the opportunity to get a field goal. That's 4 points off the board. Um, that could have been in the first half. Had we had the 2-point conversion um, in the second half, we would have beat the Packers. We would have beat the Packers. They had them where they wanted them, but just couldn't execute enough on offense. I think the play of the game yesterday, before I say that, Ryan Anderson on the Redskins defense, kudos to you. He had a strip sack fumble of Aaron Rodgers. The defense, despite the injuries, they bend but do not break. They did well. They stood toe to toe against the Packers, and we almost beat them. Um, Injuries, Ryan Kerrigan, like I said, had a calf injury. Quentin Dunbar was injured, left the game. I think his quad, his hamstring, he had cramps. Fabian Monroe was injured, but he came back. Darius Geis out, another knee injury. Dwayne Haskins playing on an injured ankle. So we got bit by the injury bug. So hopefully we can get healed up this week, and hopefully these guys can come back healthy because we need them. And we'll just see what happens. The play of the game yesterday, the score was 17-9. It was probably about 8 minutes left in the game. It's 3rd and 14. Aaron Rodgers snaps the ball, throws the ball 25 yards, and Aaron Jones catches the ball falling down backwards right before he goes out of bounds and gets the first down. That was the play of the game because right then and there, the Packers ran off probably about 5 or 6 minutes off the clock. And they went down and kicked the field goal that made it 20-9. And that pretty much put a damper on our hopes right there as far as pulling out the game, pulling out the victory. So that's what happened. That's how it is. That's how it was. It is what it is. But back to the drawing board. So we had the Eagles. Redskins come back home at FedEx Field Sunday. They have the Eagles at 1 o'clock. Could look at it as a revenge type game. The Eagles are not playing very well. They play the Giants tonight. So hopefully we can have more success against the Eagles. We're a much better team than we were the last time we played them. Even though the offense was a lot better in that first game production that we got. But defensively, I think we're better. And I think we'll give the Eagles some problems on Sunday. That's about all that I have. Studs and duds from yesterday. Stud, Terry McLaurin. 4 receptions, 57 yards, beautiful one-handed touchdown grab. He upped his production again. You're a stud. Kudos to you, Terry McLaurin. Dud, Redskins offensive line. They stink. They stink. They're horrible. Dwayne Haskins, I mean, you could have Granny sitting on the front porch in a rocking chair, and you could have five hillbillies with guns, shotguns surrounding her, and Unfortunately, they can't protect Granny. That's how our offensive line is. Because Green Bay, they just had their way with us and they just broke through and blew up quite a few plays when they wanted. And Dwayne Haskins was trapped. He couldn't go anywhere. So he was sacked about 4 or 5 times yesterday. Stud, the Redskins defense. We gave up 14 points early in the first quarter. And the next 3 quarters, except for the running game, the Green Bay running game, which did well, the Redskins, for the most part, plugged up the Packers offense. And they only allowed 2 field goals on the scoreboard for the rest of the game. So kudos to the defense. Dud, the injury bug that bit the Redskins yesterday. Ryan Kerrigan, Darius Geis, Quentin Dunbar, Dwayne Haskins, Fabian Monroe. Too many injuries. And this is something that we've been dealing with for the last few years. That, I'm glad it's not bad this year as it was the previous years, because we had like 20 people on injured reserve. So thank God that hasn't been the case this year. But injury bugs, it hit once again, and it was just felt like the last 2 seasons. People that we really need to play out on the field couldn't play on the field due to injury. My final stud of the day. Final stud of the day. I am going to say, I'm going to say the heart of this team. They didn't give up. They didn't quit. So I kind of have to attribute that to the coaching. They didn't give up. They didn't quit. And they stood toe-to-toe with the Packers, like a heavyweight championship fight. They traded blows. We lost, but we landed some shots. And I see a lot of potential for the future with the young core players that we have on offense and defense. And we just need a few more building blocks. And we need the right leader to come in. And a year or two, we're gonna end up turning it around just like the 49ers did. So I believe that. All right, my friends, we come to the end of another video. This is your first time watching. Hit down below, hit the subscribe button. If you have any thoughts, ideas, or comments, scroll down below, fill out the comment section. Would love to hear from you. And hail to the Redskins. Enjoy your week. Christmas holiday is up on us. Few weeks, something like that. Enjoy your week. Don't work too hard. I'll see you again on Friday. And this, bada bada bang, bada bang, bada bang, bada bang, bada bing. I am your host, Mr. Fred. And I will see y'all on Friday. HTTR, hail to the Redskins. Skins Nation will rise again. Peace.